Wildcraft is an animal simulator game that was released on January 23rd in 2018 by Turbo Rocket Games. For the most part, the gameplay gives the player the choice to do what they'd like, but the main goal is to unlock and choose from a variety of animals to play as well as level them up to make them stronger, either by yourself in the single-player mode or with people through multiplayer. Although the game is targeted towards a younger audience and is generally intended to be a family-friendly and appropriate game, many stories of disturbing encounters on the game have spread, some of them even turning out to be true, while others are just scary stories. True or not, these stories have been given the title of wildcraft creepypastas by the community. Wildcraft creepypastas have been a popular subject within the game's community for about half a decade now, sparking numerous stories across the internet of scary encounters with different entities that are rumored or in some cases really have existed within the game. Yes, again, the number is small, but a few creepypastas really do, or at least did, exist within the game. If you watch my last video going over the Warrior Cats Ultimate Edition equivalent to Wildcraft creepypastas, which are called NPCs instead of creepypastas, you may remember how some players of that game created a side community dedicated to searching for these entities. Well, you probably wouldn't be surprised to know that there is also a group of people within the Wildcraft community who search for its many creepypastas, myself included. For those of you who are new to my channel, hello, my name is Violet, and I make lots of content surrounding Wildcraft creepypastas and disturbing entities within similar games, so it's safe to say that today's video is by someone who has been well informed since the very beginning of Wildcraft creepypastas. Today, I'm going to take you through a list of all well-known creepypastas surrounding Wildcraft, trying to stay as accurate to the timeline of them as possible. Ghost Fox is the very first Wildcraft creepypasta, existing for around 5 years at the time of this video's publication. Despite her age, she still holds the title of one of the most well-known Wildcraft creepypastas to date, up there with Lorona and Spawn Code. She is said to appear as a fox with grey skin and white eyes, although some people describe her as looking a bit differently, such as having red eyes instead of white and having scarring all over her body. She was very popular around the year 2019 when she was first spotted, supposedly appearing at random in either the Wild Plains map or the Winter Forest map. To find her, people would say players had to play as a fox in either one of those maps and set your skin to grey to match hers before creating a server in multiplayer so that you are alone. Despite this, however, people would often search for Ghost Fox with their friends present. She was rumored to be a glitch or simply something that the developers added to the game as a creepy Easter egg. Others speculate that she was a real ghost that haunted the game, and countless other stories have come out of her rumored existence. Personally, I believe that Ghost Fox is a hoax. I have personally searched for her numerous times to no avail, and there seems to be lots of faked content surrounding her. Not only that, but exact details about her are practically non-existent. After doing further research than what I already knew, it seems like no one knows who started the rumor of her existence, and no one can seem to agree on what her appearance is. No one knows of her origins or what she even is, and some people say that she can hack your account, while others say that she'll just stand there and do nothing. So it's not even known exactly what she does other than simply appear. In addition to all of that, no one can even agree on her name. She is generally referred to as Ghost Fox, yes, but other people have called her iBeta125 and Rule. Despite being likely faked from the very beginning, Ghost Fox served as the beginning of a long series of disturbing stories shared within the game's community. Lorona, like Ghost Fox, is also a fox, though she is much more interesting and consistent than her counterpart, if I can even call them counterparts. Lorona is a more threatening entity, as when summoned correctly, she will delete your entire account if you don't act quickly enough. Lorona is a dark red fox with white eyes, appearing in a strangely dark patch of forest located in the farm map, and has a strange ritual that is required to have her appear. To summon her successfully, you must enter single player, join the farm, and leave your family in the den so that you are alone. Once outside, the player is required to hunt for 2 cows, 1 goat, and 3 hens in any order that they would like. Once the player is finished, return to the den and choose to sleep until it turns night. Once dark outside, spam the button that changes from sword to shield. That button decides whether your family stays inside the den when you leave or follows you outside. You need to spam it 10 times, and by the 10th it should appear as the sword. Seeing the sword means that your family will stay inside and will not follow you when you leave. Once you've spammed that button, go outside and head for the dark patch of the woods. You need to go to this specific spot on the map, but the catch is that you cannot open the map for directions. You need to learn and remember the exact spot before you start the summoning process. On the way there, it should begin to rain. This is a sign that you have done everything correctly so far, and that if you continue, she will appear. Once you are in the right spot, sit down and set your camera to the first-person mode and then face this tree. Wait there for exactly 30 seconds and do not move. Then, when you turn around, she should be in front of you, giving you 2 options. What you should do is quickly open your menu and stay in it for a few seconds. When you close the menu again, Lorona should be gone. If you decide to do nothing, she will delete your account. Only she won't, because she can't. Lorona is another myth, and she does not actually exist and will not spawn even if you follow all of these steps correctly. As disappointing as this may sound for some, maybe this next creepypasta will help raise your spirits. Spawn code 37R8EHO, or more simply titled Spawn Code, is around as old as Ghost Fox is. Only Spawn Code, unlike Ghost Fox, is entirely real and not a hoax. Spawn Code was an all-black Link that could show up in just about any map that was in the game at the time. He was able to both sink through the map's ground and float in the air, was extremely fast, and could attack the player as if they were dueling. Interestingly enough, I personally believe I have met Spawn Code myself years before I even started my channel, though looking back on it, it may have been a player merely pretending, as some things that people claim does not line up with what Spawn Code told me and others who were in the server at the time. See, the player that I met that claimed he was Spawn Code claimed that he was not a hacker, but instead, he was simply someone who found a glitch that no one else knew about. Instead of hacking, what he would do is enter the Battle Arena map, which, for those unaware, is a map where players can freely attack each other without needing to ask permission to duel. From there, he would perform some kind of glitch that would make his character in both the Battle Arena and whichever map he chose at the same time. So, he would enter a server in a second map, but because his character was also technically still in the Battle Arena, he was able to attack players who were playing in maps where you would normally need to duel them first. This was also how he claimed to be able to go into the air and under the ground of certain maps, because his character wasn't walking on the same floor as the map he appeared to be in, but he was instead walking on the layout of the Battle Arena map. All of this made sense, but some players have claimed that they've been hacked by spawn code before, and I have seen convincing videos where spawn code is able to run faster than he probably should be able to. So, my personal theory is that he may have used both glitches and hacks to frighten players, but I personally do not believe he's ever hacked into the accounts of other players. Either way, spawn code has not been seen in years, and it is believed that he has quit the game. I believe the glitch he used has been patched ages ago, so it's likely he may just play as a normal player now under a new name. Regardless, it's nice to know that all of these stories actually aren't all made up, and I do personally find it a little amusing that a real player used to use harmless tactics just for the sake of scaring kids in a video game. Back to mere stories, Jingle is, in my opinion, the most threatening of all creepypastas, which is a little ironic because of his name being silly. Jingle is a wolf with a grey, common skin, black eyes, and an unnatural smile that makes the corner of his lips appear pulled back. Jingle appears extremely rarely in the Winter Forest map, but only late at night around 1 AM to 3 AM. He is extremely fast and may do a variety of things to your account, and even you if you are unlucky enough to encounter him. Yes, I said you. Jingle is able to remove your account, but more interestingly, he is the only creepypasta most known to cause danger to the actual player. If a player encounters him in-game, they will soon hear a knock at their window. After that, their home will be broken into and they will be abducted before losing their life. Although this, of course, would imply that Jingle has a physical form, it has never been seen or described before, likely because Jingle is not real. As completely surprising as this may be, there is no evil entity named Jingle that will come to your address if you encounter him in an animal simulator. You are completely safe to play this game without worrying about him. Nidhogg is an odd and eerie creepypasta, yes, but it is more interesting than anything else. Nidhogg is widely considered to be a wildcraft creepypasta by the community, but in reality he is more of a bizarre entity that appears as a glitch. A real glitch. That's right. Nidhogg is another creepypasta that is real, it is not made up, and I believe can still be found in the game to this day. By messing around with the game menu while playing multiplayer, if you want to know exactly how, here are some videos that offer tutorials. It is possible to break the layout of it, making everything appear as glitched and off. More interestingly than everything else wrong here, if the player opens their character customization up during this, They will not be met with their own character like they are supposed to. Instead, they will be met with this tiger who is, for some reason, named Nidhogg. Nidhogg used to appear as a tiger in blue pajamas, although he was changed a few months ago to wear a black and red suit for some unknown reason instead. Aside from being real, another thing that I personally like about this creepypasta is that it is absolutely harmless. Nidhogg is not dangerous in the slightest, just odd. He was clearly just designed to be a placeholder for the developers. In fact, this is likely what most of the different things in the menu are when it's glitched like this. For the fact that it is real and harmless, I would absolutely recommend anyone interested in finding real creepypastas in video games to encounter Nidhogg for themselves. It isn't the most scary, of course, but it is nice to see a real creepypasta instead of being disappointed by the millionth fake one. Drowned Wolf is a pretty self-explanatory creepypasta by his name, said to be the spirit of a boy who was drowned by his own friends. Drowned Wolf is a wolf with the rare gray and white skin, a scar over his face, and white eyes. There is a bit of a process to find him, and even if you follow all of the steps correctly in order to make him appear, it's highly unlikely that he will actually spawn. To simplify the summoning process, the player must enter the Wild Plains map and hunt an animal that they can grab and bring over to the beach, almost as a sort of offering or sacrifice. After this has been done, the player must then walk along the shore and search for him. If you manage to beat the odds and find him, he will drag your character into the ocean and drown it. It's said that he does this out of revenge against his friends, though since the players aren't exactly its friends, it's likely that he just drowns anyone that he can find in hopes that they just happen to be his old friends. If he does manage to drown your character, you will lose it forever, meaning all of your process and levels on it will be forever lost. Drowned Wolf is, of course, another made-up story, or at least he's never been captured on camera, confirmed to exist by the developers, or had any content surrounding him that isn't either faked or just for documentary and entertainment purposes. Before I let this part of the video go on, I'm going to interrupt my script to make an important update that happened while I was editing for this video. Soon, you are going to hear me credit this YouTube account on screen for being the original creator of Leaf the Fox, though, as you can see, they have recently taken down all of their content for unknown reasons and claims to be restarting their channel, merely on a break at the moment. So, while I will still be crediting them for the original story, as it is theirs, you will no longer be able to view it. I also ask that viewers of this video please leave this creator alone, as they've put in their bio that they want to be undisturbed for the time being. Thank you. Leaf is a story originally made by Galaxy Kitson on YouTube. It is likely that if you are watching this video, you have also seen my video on Leaf the Fox, so I will have to clarify that my story is not the same as the original one. It was merely inspired by it. So, if you hear me describe Leaf differently than what you've heard before on this channel, keep in mind that my story of Leaf and the original story of Leaf are different. They are both not real, but today I am going to cover just the original story. It stated in the original story that Leaf had been around since the beginning of the game, which would technically make her even older than Ghost Fox by about 1 year, but again, this is just a story that was made about 2 years ago, so that's why I put it so far up the list. Leaf is a fox that was described as looking similar to Ghost Fox, only their skin was much more distorted and was clearly not an actual skin that you could normally acquire from the game. It had strange scarring and was a strange red color, appearing almost as if it had its fur torn off and was just left with skin. Leaf was able to hack players' accounts, kick them from the game, and somehow even affect the life of real players and the luck that they had. Players who encountered Leaf experienced things such as severe and dangerous weather events. Their family members would get into life-threatening accidents, or their pets would lose their lives. Leaf had apparently affected so many players that they complained to the developers, so much so that one developer looked into getting Leaf removed and strangely lost their life the very moment that they were about to remove this entity. It's safe to say that if Leaf were real, they would most likely be a serious threat to both players of the game and their peers and relatives. If you would like to see the full original story, this is where to find it, and if you would like to see my own version, this is the video to look for on my channel. Player 543 first appeared as a horse with a common grayish skin, black eyes, and oddly enough, a party hat. Unlike some creepypastas, which are said to be caused by spirits or glitches, the original person to claim that they discovered player 543, evercoda.wcue, claim that player 543 is instead a hacker. There is an entire series of this creepypasta documented by this YouTuber, so if you are interested in seeing the original story be told for yourself, I recommend checking out some of their videos. But to make a long series short, this creator claims that they were playing in the Winter Forest map one day when they saw a strange horse in single player and realized that it was actually another player by seeing its username, player 543. Knowing that it was hacker because normally there is no way for other players to join your world in single player, they left that game and switched to the Wild Plains map to play instead, only the horse somehow appeared there as well. The horse did many things to mess with Evercoda and their account over a period of time, and they've had multiple interactions with each other before. Even stranger, this hacker would often ask them answers to math questions and is just an interesting person in general. Personally, I can't say whether this creepypasta is real or not. I do have reason to be skeptical about this one, but the creator does not claim that player 543 is fake, and even made their content seem as if it were real, so while I am personally very doubtful, I am not going to outright call any creator a liar because at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal, and I am personally not able to confirm whether or not it was real. To conclude our list, I have chosen the most popular recent creepypasta, which is actually made by myself. Player Avarice is an NPC that was coded into the game by an ex-developer, now hacker, who had decided to ruin the developers' careers by scaring and threatening players off of the app. This hacker created an NPC that would enter single-player games and force them to stare at it as it stood there and unhinged its jaw until it sank beneath the game's ground. If that alone wasn't enough to scare the player away from the game, the NPC, named Player Avarice, would then not only do the exact same thing if the player tried to rejoin the single-player mode again, but it would also do far worse if they tried joining the multiplayer mode instead. If the player wanted to join multiplayer, Player Avarice would immediately join to whichever server they picked and would start spamming that player's personal information into the chat for other people to see. If that still, somehow, was not enough to deter the player away from playing wildcraft, then their account would permanently be banned from the game a certain amount of time after encountering Player Avarice. Of course, there are many creepypastas that have come from wildcraft's existence, and because of this, naturally, some of them were left out of this video. This video was simply a documentation of some of the most popular ones, and if I missed any that you are personally interested in, please feel free to speak of them in the comments and share which ones your favorites are. Some creepypastas that I did not cover in this video can be found with videos dedicated to just them on my channel, so feel free to have a look and see if I've made a video on them somewhere there. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe to my channel for more similar content. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a great day or night.